I'd like to welcome you all to our 12 o'clock Travel Friday, where every week we take you on a virtual trip to a new country. So Lou will be taking us on a trip to Romania. We'll be doing Europe for the month of August. And I look forward to learning more about Romania and, of course, the trivia at the end. So make sure you all stay on so that way one of you will potentially win a prize today. Other than that, the floor is yours, Lou. And again, thanks so much for coming on to our session today. Really appreciate
Well,
it.
thanks everybody. It's such an honor to be here. Uh, Lately, I've been starting out with some like random trivia. So let me start out with some random trivia here. This one will actually win as well, Alex. We have the list. So this is a random trivia question. Who can tell me what this is? What is this thing? What's the name of that tool? Who can tell me? Ooh, no answers? Got no handy folks on the line?
You can unmute yourself and share your answer if you'd like.
What is this tool? No one knows? Well, oh, there, and Dennis is speaking up.
And you can
Alex?
unmute yourself and share your answer.
I don't know exactly what it's called, but it looks like a type of a pulley that you use to um, operate something with.
Oh, yeah, it's a good guess. If we had some construction people on the call, they would be able to tell us. Oh, Harold, I bet Harold knows.
Yeah, plumb line, he says.
It's actually not a plumb line, but that's a really good guess. It's got a little hook for holding on to something. And look at the color of the line right there. I just happen to have this sitting on my sofa, and it's got some blue. What's this little compartment for right here?
Is it a measuring tape?
No, see that right there? It's got a little compartment. See that? Some blue stuff inside.
I have no idea.
Well, my one of my walls is rotting out. We got an old house, and I got to put up some new vinyl siding, so I had to buy a chalk line. This is the chalk line.
Oh, okay.
Chalk line. You snap a straight line with this thing. I got it at the RE store, the RE store. I got it for $3.
What?
Yeah, yeah. I got it for $3. Okay, enough of that. Let's get into the presentation. I'm so excited to be here and be with all of you. I'm going to share my sound, and then I'm going to share my screen here because we're going to take off for Romania, starting where we always do at the Department of Aging. So planes to Romania, this is not a frequently traveled to location here. I've never been to Romania. But maybe has anybody here been to Romania? Anybody raised, Brendan, was that you raising your hand? No? Okay, well, we're going to go to Dulles Airport as always. So we're going to take off from Dulles. Anybody know which direction we head from Dulles Airport? Well, we're going to head east because Romania is in Eastern Europe. So we're going to take off, and flights to Romania, I don't know if they have direct flights to Romania. I doubt if they do. You probably have to connect at one of the European hubs, probably in London Heathrow. The abbreviation for that is LHR. So you probably have to land in London Heathrow Airport right here, and then catch a second flight, because I don't think there's any direct flights over here to Romania. So here's Romania right here. So you can see its neighbors. I mean, it's not far from Ukraine. It shares a border with Ukraine, shares a border with Serbia, shares a border with Austria. So, some of these names ring for conflict for me. Serbia, remember the war in the 90s? We know there's a war in Ukraine right now. Austria, Second World War. So, I mean, as we watch the history, I think we're going to be encountering a lot of war going on in Romania. And really, a lot of what Romania is known for is some beautiful things, but also some sort of gruesome things too. So we'll learn a little bit about those as well. So I'm going to stop sharing this, and well, actually, before I do, any comments about Romania? Anybody have been to any of these countries near Romania by any chance? Anybody been to any of those countries near Romania? No, okay, because yeah, that's not a very traveled area, and so I didn't suspect that we have a lot of people who've been there. But let's start out and learn a little bit about history. So I'm going to stop sharing and let's pick up a little bit on Romanian history. Give me a second to cue it up. Okay, and just a moment. Okay, here we go. All right, let me know if you can't see it. And then we'll take it from there. So here we go.
Yep, you're good, Lou.
We're good? Okay, good. Oh boy, hold on. My controls are blocking the play button. There we go.
And welcome to Mr. This is Europe, and here's Romania. Now let's go, shall we? The stunningly scenic land of Romania has been inhabited for a very long time. During the Neolithic age, peaceful, classless communities farmed the good, rich earth with tools made from stone and antlers. Hugging the Black Sea coast in the east was another archaic culture with a pretty chill, laid-back kind of art. Centuries later, we hear tell of a Thracian tribe in the south called the Geti, whom the Greek historian Herodotus referred to as the bravest and most upright of all the Thracians. To the west arose a related group, some consider the same, others different, called the Dacians, fierce warriors who fought with a weapon called the falx, the largest variety of which was a two-handed polearm with a big menacing blade of curved iron. In the 1st century BC, the Dacian tribes were united under Burebista, who conquered a number of peoples and collided, in so doing, with the Romans, making an enemy of none other than Julius Caesar in the process. Caesar was planning to invade Dacia, but instead found himself invaded by a number of daggers when he was assassinated. Dacia's next big thing was Decebalus, who defeated a Roman army during the reign of Domitian. But when Emperor Trajan ascended the throne, things changed. Rome's armies returned and defeated the Dacians in 2 successive battles. Rather than face capture and shame, Decebalus killed himself. The Romans chopped his head off and took it back to their capital as a trophy. Thus Dacia was added to the Roman Empire, and the region was Romanized, and Rome's language, Latin, is the parent of modern Romanian. Now, Dacia was located in a tricky spot and was highly susceptible to troublesome invaders, so Emperor Aurelian made the decision in the year 271 to withdraw Rome's forces stationed there. In the dark, messy, swirling centuries that followed, the land was invaded by a myriad of peoples: Goths and Gepids and Huns and Magyars and Avars and Bulgars and Slavs. Now, amidst all this confusion, let's take a quick look at the modern borders of Romania. The 3 main historical sections of the country were Wallachia, Moldavia, and Transylvania. And so... What about Dobruja? Yes, Dobruja, you're important too. Dobruja. Anyway, these borders were far from being concrete in medieval times, when other nations were all too eager to gobble up more ground. The Hungarians, for instance, had a very firm foot in Transylvania. But Hungarian lordship over Wallachia ended with Wallachia's victory in the Battle of Posada in the year 1330 under Basarab I. Around 30 years later, Bogdan I managed to do the same thing for Moldavia, and proximity to Bulgarians and Byzantines encouraged the spread of Orthodox Christianity, which remains the dominant faith of Romania today. And speaking of dominating, the Ottoman Turks were very big on that sort of thing, as they conquered out an empire, including chunks of Eastern Europe. And while the Ottomans were no strangers to cruelty, even they were shocked at the brutality of this man here, Wallachia's Vlad III, also known as Dracula, son of the dragon, whose most grandiose act of barbarism was having over 20,000 Turks impaled on sharpened wooden stakes, hence the nickname Vlad the Impaler. So while he wasn't a vampire like the fictional Count Dracula concocted by Bram Stoker in his famous 1897 novel, the real Dracula was far more bloodthirsty a figure. This was also the time of Stephen the Great of Moldavia, a superb military leader, tireless builder, and strong, effective ruler who oversaw a time of stability and growth. Skipping ahead to the late 1500s, the Habsburg monarchy began challenging the Ottoman presence in Romanian lands, and in the year 1600, Wallachian Prince Michael the Brave, and he'd have to be brave walking around in a hat like that, united Wallachia, Moldavia, and Transylvania. thus uniting the Romanian princedoms for the first time. It didn't last long, but it would inspire future nationalists in realizing that unity again. European powers succeeded in weakening the Ottoman position in Europe, but Turkish control remained in Moldavia and Wallachia. As for Transylvania, it came under Habsburg-Hungarian control. In the following century, the Habsburgs pinched a portion of Moldavia, and in 1812 the Russians took the eastern section of Moldavia, called Bessarabia. The modern nation of Moldova was formed from that bit. Now, after the Russians defeated the Turks in this war, Russian influence was added to that of the Ottomans in Wallachia and Moldavia. Those regions did not like this influence, and in 1848 rose up in revolution against them. They were crushed. However, in 1859, under Prince Alexandru, Wallachia and Moldavia joined together and became known as Romania. But it wasn't until the reign of his successor, Carol I, that Romania gained its independence after fighting on the side of Russia in the Russo-Turkish War. Romania also gained northern Dobruja after that same conflict. Dobruja! Carol ushered Romania into the 20th century and beautified the capital, Bucharest. In 1917, as Russia collapsed in revolution, Bessarabia rejoined Romania, and that bit the Habsburgs had pinched was returned, and not long afterwards, Transylvania rejoined Romania. But this enlarged Romania did not Romania, though. In the deathly midst of World War II, it lost quite a lot of land, including Bessarabia to the USSR. This agitated era fostered the rise of Ion Antonescu. As Prime Minister, he allied with Adolf Hitler and began attacking and deporting Roma people and Jews, many thousands of whom were killed. After the war, he was put on trial for war crimes and executed. As communism took root in Romania, the king was pressured to abdicate, and Stalinist policies were implemented. Under the leadership of Nicolae Ceausescu, Romania's post-Stalin breaths of relief were stifled after 1971, when he became more and more Stalinesque in his totalitarian methods of governance. His handling of economics was disastrously flawed, and the people suffered horribly. But this didn't stop him from ordering a magnificent, massive, monumental palace to be built for himself. Of course, there's only so much misery the people can shoulder and endure, and in 1989, they rose up in a revolution. Ceausescu was overthrown, and he and his wife Elena were shot dead by a firing squad. Romania's economy grew well in the 2000s, and it joined NATO and it joined the EU, and despite some lingering problems, the country today has achieved a very high level of human development and the status of a high-income economy. And let's hope the improvements accumulate for this country that has given us such greatness in science, sports, the arts, and food deliciousness. So that's it for Romania, and that's all from me for now. Bye-bye!
Well, that was really interesting. Any reflections on that, folks? I mean, what a collage of misery these guys lived through. My gosh. Do you all
Really tragic, like stuff that happened
Yeah.
to them. Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I mean, really.
Do you remember
The one that
Ceausescu?
is
We're
still
all old
standing.
enough. Sorry, go ahead.
It's as I said, it's a wonder the country is still standing.
Yeah. Do you all remember Ceausescu? That was big news back in the 80s. Do you remember that? I don't know if you recall, like thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of kids were starving in orphanages in Romania. Do you remember that? It looked like concentration camps in Europe.
Yeah, I remember reading it on TV.
Yes, I remember reading about that and how a lot of Romanian children were adopted, and some of them had AIDS that they had gotten through transfusions or whatever. And they were adopted by people in this country, and then sometimes the people didn't want them. But the other thing I knew about Romania is Nadia Comaneci, who got the perfect 10 in gymnastics. That's why I was so interested to see this presentation, because those are the only two things I knew about Romania. The children whose families couldn't take care of them and they were adopted, and Nadia Comaneci, who was 14 in 1976 when she got a perfect 10 in gymnastics. So thanks for this presentation.
Oh, you're happy to do it. Happy. Just a little bit of an aside. My wife and I, during this era, flew to Siberia. We adopted one of our children out of one of those orphanages there. She was living on tea, and her teeth were yellow because they didn't have any food. It was just horrific. Of all the places I've ever been in the whole world, there's only one place I would never want to go back to, And that's that place. It was so just awful. All right. Next, let's go on to a happier thing here, and let's look at Romania today. So let me flip this one up. Hopefully it works. Let me know if it doesn't.
Located on the Balkan Peninsula, Romania is a country of contrasts. The former Soviet bloc country has, over the years, belonged to the Romans, who gave the country its name, the Hungarians, and the Ottomans. It is filled with quaint old towns, mountain resorts that offer great skiing, and a burgeoning art community. Its most famous citizen, however, may be the vampire Dracula, a fictional character found in Transylvania. Here's a look at the best places to visit in Romania. Number 10. Danube Delta. If you're a nature lover, indulge yourself at the Danube Delta, the largest preserved river delta in Europe. Be sure to bring binoculars with you, as this is a paradise for watching wildlife. Birds flock here from as far away as Egypt and China to breed or winter over. The willow-lined canals offer a great environment for the 300 bird species found here. Previous visitors rave about the spectacular sunsets and highly recommend taking a slow boat ride on the river. Number 9. Cluj-Napoca. Home to the country's largest university, Cluj-Napoca is considered the unofficial capital of the historical region of Transylvania. The city, which predates the Roman colonization, is one of Romania's arts and cultural centers. Home to a large Hungarian population, the city features a statue honoring one Hungarian king. Built in the 14th century, the Gothic St. Michael's Church has the tallest church tower in the country. Number 8. Constanța. Sitting on the Black Sea, Constanța lures tourists from all over Europe during the summer months. Constanța is Romania's largest port and the third largest port on the Black Sea. Romania's oldest city has plenty of historical landmarks, beaches, and even a grand casino. Be sure to check out the popular gathering spot of Ovid Square, the intricate beauty of the Roman mosaics, and the 26-foot lighthouse built in 1860. Number 7. Bran Castle. Bran Castle is often associated with Dracula as his home, though there's no indication that the author Bram Stoker ever knew of this medieval castle. The castle, however, does have a fairy tale quality, peeking out from a forested hillside near Brasov in Transylvania. With roots dating to the 13th century, this medieval castle today is a museum, showcasing art and furniture collected by Queen Maria. It also is home to an open-air museum featuring Romanian peasant buildings from around the country. Number 6. Bucharest. Bucharest is a city that combines the old with the new. Visitors might come across a centuries-old building, a modern high-rise, and a communist-style building all in the same block. This modern European capital boasts the largest parliament building in the world, with 3,100 rooms and being 12 stories high. Tours of the impressive building, constructed in 1984, are given frequently throughout the day. Also not to be missed in Bucharest is the Old Town Center, with its narrow cobblestone streets and old buildings, including medieval churches. Number 5. Sinaia. Sinaia is a mountain resort town that grew up around a monastery that was named for Mount Sinai. The monastery, which contains a copy of the first Bible printed in Romania, is a popular site today with tourists who enjoy hiking in the summer and some pretty tremendous downhill skiing in the winter. King Charles I built his summer home, known as Peleș Castle, near here. The town is noted for having pretty flowers, but visitors who pick them can find themselves in hot water, as this is not allowed. Number 4. Painted monasteries. Among the most picturesque attractions of Romania are the painted monasteries of Bucovina in the northeastern part of the country. Their painted exterior walls are decorated with elaborate 15th and 16th century frescoes featuring portraits of saints and prophets, scenes from the life of Jesus, images of angels and demons, and heaven and hell. Number 3. Brasov. Located in central Romania, Brasov boasts everything from dynamic modern city life to old-world charm and fascinating scenery. Surrounded by the Carpathian Mountains, the city is considered a mountain resort with skiing and ice skating facilities. A top site is the Black Church, a Gothic cathedral so named because smoke from a huge 17th century fire blackened the stones. Visitors also may want to take a stroll down Rope Street, which is the narrowest street in the country. Number 2. Sibiu. Sibiu, once part of Hungary, dates back to the early 12th century. The city is located in Transylvania, an area that is associated with vampires, but it's highly unlikely that visitors will run across any in this day and age. Instead, travelers will find the Grand Square, in use since the 15th century, and the Baroque Bruckenthal Palace, home to one of the oldest museums in the world. Visitors may also want to be on the lookout for remnants of old fortifications used to defend the city hundreds of years ago. Number 1. Sighisoara. Also located in Transylvania, Sighisoara is one of the most popular places in Romania due to its beautifully preserved walled town. During the 12th century, German craftsmen and merchants were invited here by the King of Hungary to settle and defend the frontier. They established a thriving trading town here that the citadel visitors see today. Every July, a medieval festival takes place in the old citadel. The landmark of the city is the Clock Tower, a 210-foot high tower built in 1556.
All right, folks, any thoughts, reflections?
Lou, they speak English and their native language? Because I saw some signs that had English.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, they had one, a house on the rock. And I guess, well, it says their official language is Romanian. So I guess they speak both, huh?
Yep. I guess, yep. Haven't been there, so I couldn't comment, but I think you're right.
Okay.
Any other thoughts, folks?
Yes,
Some of the
I'm
places
impressed by
were-
the architecture.
You like the architecture?
Yes, beautiful.
Yeah. Any other comments?
The craftsmanship and some of the places were really beautiful, but some of their craftsmanship was amazing.
Yeah. No, that's what's interesting. Some of the countries we went to, they really focus on the natural wonders in the country, but in Romania, that video is really all about these preserved old towns, wasn't it? All the top places were these old preserved towns. So I guess you gotta like old preserved towns if you want to go there.
And the painted monastery.
Yeah, beautiful.
I wondered if that was done somewhat recently to have those painted images on the ceilings and all around.
Probably so. Yeah, that was beautiful inside. The I will say, having done travel nearby, that I bet a lot of those cities that they named are so overrun by tourists, those little towns, those preserved towns, that it's really lost its flavor of being, an old medieval town. And if you ever go there, you might want to think about going to like any other town, because they're probably just as preserved, although a little more beat up, but they're real cities. You know what I mean? They're not like tourist towns. All right, well, let's have a little quick conversation about who is Romania's most famous resident or citizen. Who's the most famous person in the history of Romania?
Dracula.
Dracula, right. So
Mhm.
let's learn a little bit more about Dracula, okay? Here we go.
Transylvania. The name conjures it all. Dense pine, impassable, craggy cliffs, thick ground fog. This is the mythic forest of your childhood nightmare. Bran Castle, billed as the last standing relic of a man some call Dracula. The story goes that Romania's bottomless well of tyranny, catastrophe, and overall human misery can all be traced back to one terrifying ruler and his supernatural evil.
Vlad III Basarab, better known as Vlad the Impaler, he was nicknamed Dracula, which means the son of the devil.
Okay. So, have you ever heard of the curse of Vlad Tepes?
Yeah. He lost his wife, he lost his dynasty, he lost his family, and he signed a document in order to bring a curse down against his enemy, and he promised that he will return. That was his curse, and I will take revenge against those that they betrayed me. He was killed, and his body was buried in a monastery nearby Bucharest. Later on, when they opened the coffin, they never found his body, which is quite creepy.
Yeah, right.
You do start to wonder, what if he's coming back again?
So you'd be worried if you were his enemy, you might be a little nervous. Yeah.
Vlad spent much of his life constructing a fearsome persona. In some ways, his reputation was so extreme that it haunts the entire world.
So one of his tactics was to capture prisoners and then impale them. It's a wooden stick that goes into the rectum.
Gross.
They pull you up and you stay alive like 3 days.
Oh my God, 3 days.
That really terrified his enemy, the Turks. Yeah.
What are some of the other ways you would do it?
Well, setting a fire or poisoning wells.
Wow.
One, a very bad one, he captured a family, like brothers, and he boiled one of them, and then he forced the rest of the family to eat him.
He sounds like a really nice guy.
When you have your enemy at the gate all the time, you don't have time to make people love you.
Yeah, fascists always say that. Once he took power in 1448, Vlad began a lifelong battle to protect his country from invaders from all sides. Hungarians, rival nobles, but most of all, the ever-expanding, ruthless Ottoman Empire, Vlad's mortal enemy. The other kings and rulers of his time had surrendered, and they all paid tribute, but Vlad fought on, with a sheer hatred that defies description. Perhaps because the Ottomans had kidnapped him as a child, and by the time his father and brother were killed, his hatred had grown so virulent that we still make TV shows about him 600 years later.
Vlad himself, he was right here.
Yeah, right here. He touched these walls.
Amazing.
He used to capture rats and birds, take the skin off, and then impale them in a small wooden stick. And
wow. You know, 600 years ago, there was a real person here. Vlad the Impaler looked out his little window, thought about revenge.
All right, well, that's a little Dracula clip. Any thoughts on Dracula?
Yeah, he was an evil person, very evil.
He was a monster.
Very evil.
And what he did was horrific.
Yeah, that's incredible, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Incredibly horrific. Incredibly horrific.
No feelings or no thoughts.
All right, folks. Well, I'm going to have to go into trivia because I got to end right on time today. So let's go ahead and do that. Alex, if you can give this intro, that would be fantastic.
Thank you again, Lou, for presenting our information as always today. I really appreciate that. And really quick before we do, if you're available, Margaret, do you mind sharing your favorite fact that you learned today? And I hope you enjoyed the session that we had. If you're online, do you mind sharing your favorite part of today's session so far?
Hi, Alex. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Learning about Dracula was the highlight for me. I heard stories about Dracula back then in Nigeria, and there were some songs around it. But getting to watch the clips now has prompted me to go do further research. So thank you, Lou, and I'm happy I participated in this Travel Friday.
Thank you so
thanks.
much. We really appreciate it. So thank you again for joining you all. Again, we're about to do trivia, so one of you will win an iPad accessory prize today. If you would like to answer one of Lou's questions, you must raise your hand in Zoom so that way you can share your answer. And you must make sure that you share your answer when you unmute. You can tap more at the top right of Zoom and then hit raise hand, or you can hit reactions at the bottom and then tap on raise hand to notify us if you would like to answer one of Lou's questions. So I want everyone in Zoom to please raise their hand, again, by using the toolbar at the top or the bottom to raise your hand in Zoom. If you would like to answer one of Lou's trivia questions, please make sure that you raise your hand. We'll go based off the order of the hands that are received. Once you answer a question correctly, of course, you can still raise your hand and see if you can get some more questions right, but we'll be doing one name per round for our trivia. So thank you so much. We have about 10 hands up. Thank you. Once you're called on, don't forget to hit lower at the bottom. And don't forget to mute yourself afterwards so we can hear everyone's answers. I really appreciate that. So thank you. Lou, as always, I look forward to the trivia, and let's see who wins a prize today.
All right, so I'm about to go a little bit fast today, but here we go. First question. The Pentagon is the largest building by volume in the world. What is the second largest?
Again, please raise your hand if you would like to answer.
I'll give you a hint. It came up a couple of times in the video.
Any takers? Okay, Brenda, first up, what do you say?
Is it the Palace of Parliament?
Oh yeah, good job. Hooray.
Okay.
Good job. Wow. Thank you so much for answering. You got it.
It was built, sorry. Yep, it's built by Ceausescu, Romania's former head of state. So we learned about that in the video. Congratulations. Okay, next question. Name Europe's largest stone structure. Stone sculpture. Oh, I misspelled it. Sculpture. Name Europe's largest stone sculpture. So in the, what is America's largest stone structure? Sculpture. What is America's largest stone? Anybody know? In America, this doesn't count.
Is that Mount Rushmore?
I'm gonna check. Largest. I was not prepared for this one. Stone sculpture. But I want to know about Europe's.
Yes. So please raise your hand if you would like to answer the question that's on the screen. Name Europe's largest stone sculpture.
You
Okay.
can Google it. I just did and it came up.
Cassandra, what is your answer?
Is it Guinness World Records or God of Longevity?
I don't think that's the one I'm looking for.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate
But
it.
good guess. Mount Rushmore, by the way, is the largest stone sculpture in America. But let's keep guessing about Europe.
Next up.
Okay.
Yep. And what is your answer?
No, I'm not going to pronounce this correctly. The Decebulus face of Decebulus, Decebulus.
Say it again. What's the name?
Decebulus, Decebulus.
I think that's it. What country is it in?
But it's on the border between Romania and Serbia.
Yep, that is Discipulus. It's 55 meters in height. The only way to reach it is by boat. So there it is. See him right there?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the Crazy Horse Monument in South Dakota, although it's not completed, will become the largest stone sculpture in America once completed. Okay, what is Bucharest's nickname?
Again, please don't forget to lower your hand and mute yourself once you've answered. Thank you so much. Please raise your hand if you would like to answer the question on the screen. Okay, Cassandra, what is your answer?
Is it Little Paris?
Very good.
Good job, Cassandra.
And they have a Arc de Triomphe, which was modeled after the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, and that's a picture of the Arc de Triomphe. So yes, it was actually modeled after Paris. Good job. Next question. How is the name Romania derived? In other words, what is its meaning?
We actually, it's so funny you asked this question, Lou. One of the apps we covered this morning was Merriam-Webster. So if you search that term up there, you can find the etymology of the word. So that's so funny that you asked that today.
Alice, you just taught me a new word, etymology. I never heard that word before. Very good.
Any takers? I see you, Brenda. We'll keep your hand up. Let's see, Miss Dolores, what is your answer?
It's Romania's.
And what is the meaning of that?
It's, you say what's the meaning?
Yes.
Yeah, what is the meaning of Romanius? There's a meaning behind it. What does that word mean?
Louis, we gotta move on, but thank you so much for
You're close. You're close. Good job, but you're close. Not quite what I was looking for. What is the meaning?
Thank you. Mr. Harold, what do you say?
Romanus, citizen of Rome.
Very good. Romanus, which means citizen of the Roman Empire. Good job.
Good job,
Very
Mr.
good.
So much.
Okay, next one. Here we go. This one's hard. I thought they would cover it in the video, but they didn't. In what city is the tallest wooden structure, wooden church in the world, and the second tallest wooden sculpture in all of Europe? So in what city is the tallest wooden church in the world? You can probably Google that. You can also probably Google the second tallest wooden structure in Europe.
So this is a answer one, right? There's two answers for this.
No, no, no. It's the same city.
Oh.
But you can it's the structure. The city contains this structure, which is the tallest wooden church in the world. It's also the second tallest wooden structure in all of Europe, you know, churches and everything else included. So in what city is that?
That's a really interesting question. Thanks so much for clarifying. There's
I
one.
think Tom's got it right in the tip of his tongue. I could tell.
Again, thank you, Mr. Harold and Ann. Please keep your hands up. Please keep your hands up. Again, any other folks would like to answer? Okay, again, there's just one answer for, again, the city with the tallest wooden church in the world and second tallest wood structure. So we just need the answer. Miss Doris, what do you say?
Is it Costis, Constisa?
You know, I don't actually know the answer. So let's remember that one. Let's get another guess.
Okay, then we'll hear from Gracie and then we'll see who's closer.
Gliwice Radio Tower in Gliwice, Poland.
No, no, this structure is in Romania. Good guess. Let's take another one, Alex.
Okay, Sir Thomas, what do you say?
I would think it would be Bucharest.
No, that I know it's not, but that's a good guess. One more, Alex.
Okay, Miss Clement, fine.
Oh, we got the move.
Okay,
Yep.
it's Constanza.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna go. Here we go. I gotta move. Can you all see that? That's it. It's Sapania Perry. Sapanta Perry. So I don't think anybody got it. See that church right there? 257-foot tall church topped by a 23-foot cross that weighs 1,000 pounds. See that cross up there? Okay, I don't think anybody got it. I gotta move because I gotta be on a call in 4 minutes. Last question. Who can answer this? Who is this and what is special about her?
And please raise your hand if you would like to answer. Any takers? Who is this and what is special about her? Okay, Mr. Harold, keep your hand up. Thank you.
We might have to take it, Alex. I gotta move.
Yes, yes. This is the last one, right? Okay.
Harold,
Yeah,
sorry.
Mr. Did you want to just try and see who is this person and what is special about her?
That's Vlad's daughter. Nothing special about her.
Oh, no, that's not it. Good guess. Anybody else?
Brenda, and then we'll go on.
Well, I'm a guess. Is it Nadia Comaneci? Gymnast?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Very good. Okay, Alex, take us home. Good job. Take us home.
Right, good job, you all. Those are a lot of fun questions. And again, thanks so much for participating. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And out of the 4 of you all, we have, again, Mr. Harold, Miss Cassandra, and Brenda for winning a prize today. So let's see who wins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, Mr. Harold, you
Mr.
won.
Harold, congratulations.
Thank you so much. You won a pair of headphones for today. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, good session.
Thank you so much, Mr. Harold, for participating. We appreciate it. Good job.
Well, guys, it's pouring down rain here again in Silver Spring, so I got to go down to my flooded basement before my next call. So I will
you.
stay dry, everybody.
Let's all say thank you to Lou. I'll
Thanks,
see you
Lou. Enjoyed it.
for our module. See you all soon.
Thank
Thank you, Lou.
Thank you, Lou.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
Your flood under
been
control
very
now.
interesting.
Thank you.
Mhm.
See you all
Don't
later.
go down there swimming now.
Have a good day.
Be careful.